I give you the ring of power. Oh boy. Hello everyone and welcome officially to the first video of February 2024. As always, if you haven't been able to tell from the past 1 month I've been making videos, we're gonna start with my monthly TBR. I'm gonna be really honest when I say that I made my TBR already. I know all of the books that are on it and I know why they're on it and everything like that. This month kind of planned itself just because I have certain videos I want to make in February, which I actually put those books on my TBR because most of the reading that I'm able to do is for videos that I have planned. Unfortunately, I don't have extra time to just read some books that I personally want to read, so I just integrate them together, if that makes sense. And because of that, I have a really large stack of books, actually. It's probably really, really ambitious, and I know that. So I'm going into February with the mindset of these are the books that I really want to read. It's like 20 books. I'm not even kidding you. And I think we're only going to read maybe 12, but I still really want to read them all this month. So we are going to try our best. With that being said, I have, I think, 4 different categories of books this month. I have rollover books from last month because I'm determined to not fall behind in that sense, kind of. I have romance books because it's February. I have books that I'm just adding to the TBR because I want to read them. And then I have a whole entire section dedicated to library books because I recently discovered public libraries again, and my god, it's like free book shopping, and that is dangerous for me. I think I have, not even kidding you, probably 12 or 14 books from the library, all from separate trips too. So, 3 or 4 separate trips. So, we have quite a few books to talk about today. But without further ado, let us talk about the first section, which is going to be our rollover books. If you have not seen my January TBR video, there were 6 books that I put on my January TBR, and I read half of them, which means that 3 of them are rollover books, technically, but I only put 2 on the list just because one of the books that was on my TBR for January was House of Leaves, which is this massive book, massive on taking. And with the rest of the stack that we have for February, I know that I won't be able to put House of Leaves into the mix. So House of Leaves is not here. However, we do have The Viewing of Roxy and then A Court of Serpents and Secrets, which is that Kindle series that I'm reading. I also added the novella 12 from the Natural series into this category because I read the Natural series last month and I've yet to read the novella. I haven't read the novella yet. So the novella is on our monthly TBR, but it really wasn't on my January TBR because the Natural series wasn't on my January TBR. I just happened to pick it up, you know? But anyways, moving on. The next section we're going to talk about are my romance books. There actually are 2 or 3 library books in this stack. Just because I may or may not have gone to the library yesterday and picked out more books. I know, it's an issue. It's an issue, I know. We have 5 different romances for the month of February, and let me introduce you to those. We have Unsteady, Love at 350, I believe it's pronounced Kyland, Icebreaker, which is actually a book that is on my 2024 TBR as well. And then we have A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. This is the Hades X Persephone series. If you have been watching my book videos previous to me making this channel, so the ones that I made on my technically business YouTube channel, you know that Scarlett St. Clair and me do not mix. However, I have heard so many good things about this series, and I just genuinely still want to read it, even though I didn't like the other 2 books I read by this author at all. But I'm gonna try because I want to like it, you know? Any cadoodles. Moving on, I have 4 books from my personal pile that are also being added to the TBR, and let me introduce you to those. Firstly, we have I Fell in Love with Hope, which I'm nervous for, but I really want to read, and I think it would be cute to read it in February. And I'm really nervous. We also have the second and the third book in the Hades X Persephone series, A Touch of Ruin and A Touch of Malice. If I'm not mistaken, I believe the 4th book is coming out either in March or maybe it's May of this year, and I do intend on reading it then, so I'm like, let's get the first 3 out of the way, you know? And then this one I'm actually so excited for. we have The Blackthorn Key, which is the first book in the Blackthorn Key series. I've read this series before, at least the first 3 books, I believe, multiple times. One of my favorite childhood series. I love it so much. But I am finally going to read it now, and I'm going to tab the books, which I'm just so excited for. You can tell how loved this book. I've read it like so many times. Oh my gosh. And then let me introduce you to our final book section of books. Oh gosh. This is the library book section. Yeah. So I've taken the liberty to divide these books into 2 sections because they just happen to all be from 2 different genres of books. We have fantasy and like thriller mystery. So let me show you these books. Starting with fantasy, we have The Pomegranate Gate, Forged by Blood, A Cursed Kiss, A Cursed Heart, Silver in the Bone, which I am so excited that I found, and then finally, The Language of Fire. This one is actually labeled as historical. It is a retelling of Joan of Arc, so maybe that one's not fantasy. I don't know. And then let me introduce you to my 5 thriller mystery books. We have The Undetectables, Hooks Can Be Deceiving, The Killing Hills, These Deadly Games, and The Family Game. If you're wondering, in total, that is 22 books that are on my physical TBR. I'm insane. Actually, no, I lied. I don't actually have my written list by me, so I was going all off my brain. I have one more book I need to add, which is The American Roommate Experience. That one is also a romance book I want to read this month, and it's on my Kindle. So I totally forgot about it. So in total, there are not 22 books, but 23. Yeah, so yeah. I'm just now realizing I probably should have started with this, but I actually did set myself a couple of reading goals for February this month, just because this is insane. Um, I'm aware, okay? I know this is this is like almost half. No, it's almost a third of my 2024 reading challenge is in 1 month. I'm insane. I'm insane. But I did make myself a little 2 tiny little goals. First off is I want to read 15 books in January. I read, I believe it was 12 in January. Did I say January for 15 books? I want to read 15 books in February. If I messed up, I can't remember. I read 12 in January, and I had a couple of days where I didn't read at all. And I would like to read at least a little bit every day in February, which is not starting off great because it's the first and I haven't even picked up a book yet. But nonetheless, I do want to try to read at least 15 books. Hopefully all 23, but you know, that's up in the air. We don't know. And then my second goal is that because I have so many library books, none of them are what are called at my library books lucky day books, which means that you can only check them out for 3 weeks, like you can't renew them. None of the books that I checked out were that kind, so I can renew these books up to 3 times. And because of that, my goal is to not return the book unless I've read it. I made the mistake the first time that I went to the library of getting a couple books that were sequels. Totally unbeknownst by me because I don't read backs of books. I'm just like, ooh, pretty cover. I want to read what's inside of it. But because of that, when I go to the library from now on, I open my Goodreads and I see if it's number 1, number 2, and whatnot. And these are all either standalones or number 1 in the book series of whatever it might be. I guess there is actually one exception to that, which is going to be this book right here, Hooks Can Be Deceiving. However, this is like book 19, and I actually read what this one was about, right? And it's a little mystery about a crochet TV show, I believe, and it didn't sound like it was a need to be read in order. I think I can just read this as a standalone. If not, we're gonna find out the hard way. Anyways, that is my absolutely tremendous TBR for February. It's insane. I know it is, but I am very excited to read a good chunk of, if not all of these books. So you remember how I said I didn't have my notebook that had all my books in it? Yeah, my book also has my goals in it, and I totally forgot about one that I had. Unbeknownst to me, I really got to stop leaving my notebook in places where it shouldn't be. But I also have the goal that I want to read 2 series in February, or at least of the books that are published in the series. The first of that is going to be the Shadowbound Queen series, which is the one I've been reading on my Kindle. I just have the 1 book left, and then we're gonna read the first 3 books in the Hades X Persephone series by Scarlett St. Clair. I also know that I'm starting a couple other series, like Silver in the Bone is a series, and the Cursed Heart / Cursed Kiss is also a series. Like, these are the first 2 books. But I'm not planning on finishing those ones. I just want to finish what is published of at least 2 series, if that makes sense. And to the way, those are my goals. Those are my books. I'm really nervous for reading these, but I'm also so excited. I'm so excited. We're gonna be doing so much reading. I'm so excited. But yes, without further ado, that was the end of the video. We've gone through my honestly outrageous TBR for February. I don't know if there's going to be any seconds I'm going to be awake that I will not have a book in my hands, but I am very excited for all of these wonderful worldly adventures nonetheless. But yes, down in the comments below, let me know what books are on your TBR that you're excited for, if you have a TBR, or just books you're excited for in general, a book you're reading, book you're gonna read, anything of the sort. I would love to know. I love knowing what other people are reading. I think it's really interesting. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed seeing my February TBR. I do hope that starting March we can start to pick it out together, but right now I don't know if I can do that because I already start planning like a week in advance. I'm like, okay, I have all these little books and da 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 da. But maybe we can start doing it together, or at least do like part of picking the TBR together, you know? But like I said, this TBR kind of made itself. Anyways, you guys have a wonderful week. Have fun in your wonderful little books, your wonderful little tales, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye!